Hello, hi, good evening. Welcome to the stream. My name is Garrison from Singapore, and yes, today we have a guest with us on Discord today, right? Hello, hi, who is that on Discord? Hey, hi, Void, how are you? Okay, right. So, yep, just in time, we have just started our live stream. So, just give me a moment. So, let me just go through some of the things that we usually do. But let me fire up the dashboard in the first place so that I can see if there are people who are actually wanting to text us over at the chat box itself. Right, so yeah, welcome to the stream. There's two ways in which you can actually communicate with us and interact with us during the live stream. One is via the chat function itself, where you can actually type your questions, comments, opinions, and anything you want to ask me in the chat box itself. I will look through them and I will try to answer them as much as I can during the live stream. Alternatively, what you can do is if you like to speak to me directly and have a on air session and talk with me, you can actually go to my Twitch profile where you can actually find the Discord link. Yeah, so click on the Discord link itself. If let's say you have got a Discord account, just click on it. You'll be invited to my Discord server where you can actually go to this section that says on air live and then click on it, join the voice channel, turn on the microphone, and you'll be able to speak to me live on air, just like what Void has done. Right, hello Void. Good, thank you. Yeah, so it's natural for the Discord itself to have a slight lagging in terms of the timing, but there's no worries. It's actually pretty okay. We can still have a proper discussion on air itself, right? So okay, and let's say yes, right. So if let's say you're watching this as a replay or as a recorded stream itself, either on Twitch or on YouTube, feel free to to comment and stuff like that as well, right? And I think recently Twitch has got a new policy coming in place. I think somewhere in September where instead of they will keep the so-called the recorded stream for up to 14 days. I think they reduce it down to 7 days. I'm not sure if I am actually affected by it because I'm also an Amazon Prime so-called subscriber, so I might have the 14 days. But otherwise, if let's say you can't find the older stream, the recorded stream itself over at Twitch, you can actually head down over to YouTube where you can still catch all the live recorded live stream on YouTube itself, right? And alternatively, if let's say you would like to private message me any other things like collaborations or stuff like that, please feel free to go to my other social media handle where you can actually private message me over there as well, over at Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok. Right. So yeah, so we are so happy that we have got Boyd with us today. Yeah. So yeah, anything you'd like to share with us or anything? Or are you interested to further discuss on our topic for this week? It's still about relationship. We have been talking about this for the past 3 weeks, I guess. So today is Sunday. We are probably going to conclude this week's topic and then probably move to a new one from tomorrow, which is Monday. Now, the thing is that for this week itself, I think I have only done maximum two or three so-called live stream because I'm kind of like pretty caught up at the moment. And I don't think next week looks great either from my schedule. So probably we'll still go into relationship kind of discussion. So if let's say you have any interesting topic for discussion, you can just bring it up to us and then we will see if we can actually use that as the topic for next week itself. Right. So yeah. So shall we begin? Right, yes. So yeah, Void, from what I understand you're actually calling from the States, right? And it's like is it what is the time now over there at the moment? Wow. my goodness. So you're still awake at 3 plus. Yeah. Okay. So, okay, great. So would you like to, to share anything with us, or would you like to share your opinions on the topic that we have, or anything like this? Sorry, currently I'm now in the tunnel, so it might looks a bit dark. Right. Mhm. Okay. Right. So for this itself, I think for with regards to this trust issue, I think most importantly for two persons to actually be together, there must be a certain level of trust, which I think more likely than not, it has got to be kind of like more than 75% or maybe 100% to begin with. If there's a certain element of, like doubts or something like that, then I think it's quite difficult to move on itself. So unless both parties are willing to open up and share and be truthful to each other, then they can so-called like move on. Otherwise, I think it's actually kind of difficult if you always have this element of doubt, you know, in the process. So, like, for example, if let's say you are going out, or if let's say you are like, doing something together, then if let's say the other party receive a text message or something like that, then you're kind of like suspicious. Hey, who is that? Is that someone else? Or yeah, I also understand from my kind of like some of my peers who are actually having this kind of issues. I think at the moment itself, what they're pretty concerned is about social media, because you can actually be easily reached by anybody from anywhere in the world. Yeah. Mhm. Yes. Yes, totally agree with you. So for that itself, I think right now with social media, and then the thing is that there's not only one platform, there are multiple platforms itself. So probably you have got maybe hundreds or thousands of friends over at, let's say, for example, on Facebook itself. Then your Instagram, you may have like a couple of thousands or hundreds of followers, and you've got other platforms like Twitter, TikTok, so as to name a few. So you might have different people for different on different social media platform, and then yeah. So with all this, you realize that at any point in time, if let's say you are actually like if people message you or stuff like that, then it's going to be quite chaotic if it's not being well managed. And of course, I think also in my line of work itself, I have got some people who are either public figure or kind of like celebrity for stuff like that. And then it is even more complicated in the sense that their social media account, either they actually handle it themselves, or they have got an assistant to actually handle it. So for people who are in the public figure, as for example itself, there might be quite a lot of followers or fans or whoever who just message them, and then things get worse if let's say if you are in a kind of like relationship with a public figure, because most of the time they will need to actually respond to messages and stuff like that. And then there's also kind of like fanatic fans that actually go way and beyond in certain descriptions and stuff like that. And if let's say the other party doesn't have the element of trust, then it spells disaster. Yes. Yes. Yes, correct. Yeah. But definitely, of course, we cannot really stereotype a certain category of people who are actually like public figures and stuff like that. There are those who are actually pretty trustable, And the things that in their line of work they need to expose to things like media, to a lot of other people as well. So yeah, I think at the end of the day, it's like between the two person itself, the two parties. If let's say the element of trust has got to be there. If there is any mistrust or whichever thing, then it will only starts to the the friction, the hole, which the gap, which actually starts pretty small, but as time goes along, it will be amplified and it will goes bigger and bigger and bigger. And yeah, if let's say the issue is not being rectified as soon as possible, then it can get pretty disastrous after that. Right. So I think someone also did just join in as well. So yeah, if let's say you just joined the stream, welcome to the stream. Today we have got Void with us. He's actually on Discord, so we are actually talking and discussing live on air. And if let's say if you'd like to join in, feel free to go over to my Discord channel and then use the voice channel function, and we can actually have this discussion, on air live, right? Or alternatively, if let's say you prefer to use the chat function itself, you can just type in the chat, and then we can actually look through it, and then we can also answer it as well, right? So yep, Void, thanks for your time for today. So yeah, so let's continue. So apart from this week's topic itself, are there anything you would like to further elaborate on for the previous weeks, or is there any topics like along the week itself, or any other thing that we haven't discussed before that you would like to to share with us? Oh, doxing, right? It's also back to social media. Yeah, actually, all these topics itself is actually it's actually very real in today's society itself, because I think almost everyone, including like young children, or even like the I would say the senior citizens, they are actually quite exposed to all this digital kind of media. If let's say they would like to learn more about it, they can do so very easily. Right? If let's say as time goes along, I'm not too sure how's the condition like in the states itself, but like for example, for I would say for probably Southeast Asia that I'm actually more familiar with. I think over here at this region, unfortunately, Facebook is the more predominant super social media that's being in use over here at this region. I don't think a lot of people use Twitter, but I think personally I prefer Twitter over Facebook anytime, right? Because of the yeah, I would suppose in terms of privacy issues and stuff like that, I think I would prefer Twitter more than Meta. But unfortunately, Instagram is also under Meta, which is Facebook itself. So, yeah, it's actually kind of like caught in the middle, caught in between. So that's for what I can actually feel and say about in for this region itself. Mm-mm, mm-mm, yeah. Yes. Yes. Right. Yes, I totally agree with you. Mm, yeah, that's right. So actually, I think yeah, coming to this doxing itself, I think you are the best person to speak with because of your interest in cybersecurity and stuff like that. Yeah, so I think you are the best person to talk about all this itself. So for example, over here, we I think in Southeast Asia, in particular, there is this trend of people who likes to just take some videos of incident that's happening. The thing is that the video itself sometimes it could be from a certain angle and it doesn't really truly reflects on the entire story behind the whole thing itself. So once they get posted online, they get sensationalized and they get so-called shared and forwarded many times, and then before you know it went viral. It reaches like thousands and thousands of views and stuff like that. And if the video doesn't do any justice itself, and when people starts to to try to dig out the person concerned, and then trying to shame or through cyberbully and stuff like that, it is actually kind of like pretty disastrous. Yes. Yes. Yes, that's absolutely correct. I totally agree with that. And yes, with that itself, I think at the moment in time, any of the legal so-called, I, I think at the moment, none of the legal systems in the world is actually, targeted to be 100% looking into the cyber world itself. So, mhm, yes. And the worst thing is sometimes the party that's actually doing the doxing work itself, it might not be in the country concerned. So where is the yardstick, to all this cyber kind of justice system? The jurisdiction is there any territorial? Is there any like differences between country A and country B? Or is it going to be a universal one whereby all the countries are agreeable upon? So that's why it's actually quite it's quite a big thing to go about doing it. Mhm, mhm, mhm. Ah, yes. Mhm, 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 mhm. Yeah. Yes, you have a very valid point in that as well. I think you also brought up a very, I would suppose another very important point is that for doxing itself, if let's say, if it takes a long time to resolve it, like for example, like what you mentioned, like perhaps like interstate, so-called countries and stuff like that, when they are actually trying to, to figure out what is going to be done and stuff like that. By then, the bullying has gone so far out that probably the victim itself might have like done certain other things, or maybe certain tragedies have already occurred, and I think it's kind of like too late for that as well. So I think timing is also a very critical part in this aspect as well. Mm, right. Yes. Mm-mm. Ah, yes. No. Yep. Right. Yes. Yes. That's right. So in fact, I think it's actually pretty tough to actually to address the whole issue, but nevertheless, being tough itself, whatever we can do, whatever we can actually try to prevent it in terms of any scale, small scale or whichever, I think we should do what is right. So even like for example, for normal civilians itself, if let's say certain incidents and stuff like that, if if somebody is actually doing the doxing work itself and stuff like that, so in order to prevent it from spreading even further, so just try to to further share the I would say the video itself, or to further flame the so-called the entire topic on social media itself. So big and small itself, I think things like the global warming or the sort of environmental issues or whichever thing, whatever part we can do, we just play our part and just yeah, as much as we can. As for the bigger topic itself, the bigger capacity stuff like cyber crimes and stuff like that, which is probably way beyond the normal civilians itself, I think what we can do is we have to understand and know that there's a certain education that I think is required for the civilians to understand that certain things are ongoing. So by not participating and not further jeopardize on the situation, then I think it will itself, I mean by itself, it will take on a lesser effect as compared to now, where people are actually like blind to all these things. And especially now things like deep fakes itself and stuff like that, there's a lot of what you see, it may not be the truth and stuff like that. And we also understand that in terms of media itself, sometimes they actually twist certain facts and stuff like that for either propaganda issues or whichever thing. Then all these type of things are, it has to be so-called educated to the general public. At least they have to understand certain things. I think it actually has got a lot of others so-called point of entry, to actually tackle the situation. It's not like just one point itself, like maybe just the legal, the law, all these type of things ongoing, but you also need every individual who is actually part of the cyber, who actually uses the cyberspace itself to actually be aware of this type of situation. Right. So I think I think it's a very I come across this comic where it says like there's a figure of six. So from this point of view, if you're taking a photograph, it actually shows the number 6. But if let's say the people is standing on the other side to take a photograph, it shows the figure of 9. So you can argue for the whole time is 6 or 9. But the thing is that it really depends on which side of the story you're looking at. Right. Yeah. Okay, right. So just give me a moment. I think just now somebody just came online, but yeah. At the moment, I think there are a lot of yeah, quite a few of them who are actually viewing, but not exactly expressing. But no issues. You can actually listen to us, and if let's say next time you feel that you can actually join us to share your opinions, you can actually feel free to actually type in the chat box itself, or you can actually join us on Discord on the voice channel, right? Hmm. So actually, right now is Sunday morning for you, right, boy? Okay. So what do you plan to do on the Sunday itself? Okay. Okay, great. So yeah, I think we are almost close to half an hour into the stream already. So yeah, if let's say there's anybody who wants to join us, you can feel free to do so. And yeah, I think we have talked about relationship earlier, and then we also revisited the topic on doxing itself. So for this channel itself, we can actually talk about anything under the sun. So just feel free to join in if let's say you'd like to talk to us. I think somebody left a message. Yep, somebody says hello. Yeah, hi, hello, welcome to the stream. So yeah, so is there anything that you would like to share with us as well? You can feel free to type in the chat box itself, or alternatively, if let's say you want to join us over at for the voice channel itself, you can actually head over to my Twitch profile where you can click on to the Discord link. It is an invitation to my Discord server where you can actually just join the voice channel and you can actually talk to each other live on air, right? So we have with us Void, who is from US, from the States, right? And I'm actually in Singapore, right? I mean, in fact, for this Twitch so-called live stream itself, we can actually illustrate that we have got people from all over the world. What we can do is we can actually share our opinions and stuff like that, and we can actually make use of things like social media platform to interact and exchange our views and stuff like that. So on the other hand, I mean, technology is something that's kind of a double-edged sword. So basically, it can actually do you good. It can actually, ease the so-called in terms of meeting and stuff like that. We can actually do cyber meeting so that we don't really need to travel across the globe. Like take a one full day of flight to actually go over for a meeting, and then yeah, vice versa. And also on the other hand, if let's say there's any misinformation or is there is any things that which is not so ideal to be shared on the cyberspace itself, then yes, it can be easily spread on the in the cyberspace itself. So yeah, so it's kind of like a double-edged sword, right? Mm. Right. So I couldn't really. I'm so sorry. I couldn't really catch the other person who says hello on the chat function itself. Yeah, because of my terrible eyesight. So yeah, I'm so sorry about it. But yeah, actually at the moment I'm on the expressway, so I can't exactly hold on to the phone to actually look at it. Right. So I hope you actually excuse me for this moment. Right. But hey, so welcome to the stream. Right. So, okay, Boyd, I don't want to hold you any further. You have a good rest before you go to church. And I think we have established quite a good so-called conversation over here, and hope to see you again. And if let's say there's any topic you'd like to to actually bring up for us to discuss, just feel free to to text me in any medium that's convenient to you as well. I mean, the same goes for the others. So for the viewers itself, like you're watching this live or you're watching this as a recorded stream on either Twitch or on YouTube, yeah, feel free to let us know what the topics that you would like to discuss. And if let's say the topic has been selected, I will give you the due credits, and then from Mondays through Sundays, and whenever I stream, we can actually talk about the topic itself on air. Or alternatively, we can actually head over to the Discord text channel where you can actually, have the discussion over there as well, right? So hopefully I cover all the bases, and yeah, so we just make this place as lively as possible. Yeah, the intention of this channel is actually more of like a carefree and can take it as a form of entertainment and stuff like that. Yeah. So yeah, so thanks Void, thank you for your time. Right. Thank you. Right. See you. Okay. Right. So I think right now I think we are like slightly more than half an hour into the stream. So I'm actually pretty happy for today's stream. And yeah, so this is what I would like to see on, moving forward. Like we can have some discussion and stuff like that. Of course, for today, I don't really have a specific place that I need to go to because only at this period of time I'm actually kind of like free to actually do a live stream. Of course, I have. I think I skipped yesterday's. Yeah, so that's why I have to do one today. And yeah, I'm so sorry that I have been like quite caught up last week, and I can foresee that this coming week itself is going to be more or less the same. So I have try my best to actually come online, and then we can actually have some interesting topics to discuss. And yeah, so right, so I don't want to hold on to everybody's precious Sundays. For people over in the Asia region, have a good Sunday evening, and it's back to work tomorrow. And for Void and for the viewers who are on the other side of the globe, right? Have an enjoyable Sunday ahead, and I'll see you guys the next time I come online. Right. So thank you so much, and bye.